Afternoon, everybody.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. So after a long time, only thing basically we have done this quite a number of syllabus content available to all. Good morning. Good afternoon. And shall we start then? So basically, we have done some sessions with you all before this pandemic came. Now we have finished. I don't know whether you can remember this money market and debt market, equity market. Those three topics we have comprehensively covered, but only thing I have to do some on the bond markets. We are left with some yield curve and all these things. I'll be taking this one before I move into the normal topics. I like to give you some background what we have done so far. I think that is important for you all to refresh your memories after 3 months time. Under financial markets, we have covered your syllabus topics, money market instrument, and I remember that I have given you some chart for you all to go through. It covers all the markets: money market, capital market, foreign exchange, commodity, and those markets. Only thing we have learned commodity markets. Commodity markets, of course, not in Sri Lanka much, but we have completed this money market, capital market comprehensively, and those instruments also we have learned. Treasury bill, treasury bonds, and the shares. Also, we have learned some technical terms. Also, we have learned in this. Now, just to recall what we have done so far, we have learned treasury bill, that is coming under money market instrument, short term, which is finished within 3, 6, 12, 1 year. Everything will be finishing. Treasury bill, treasury bond is long term, more than 1 year, but it doesn't mean that you can't invest in less than 1 year treasury bond. But generally, we call it a long term treasury bonds. And also, we have learned the pricing of treasury bill, treasury bonds. Remember, we have pricing also. We have done this. And treasury bonds also, we have done some questions with you all. That is sometimes is important for you to understand for your day-to-day activities. So when you invest in treasury bill, treasury bond, and shares, what kind of alternative investment opportunities you have. So then, rather than investing in treasury or the fixed deposit, this is also important for you all to get to know what other alternative investments. So under these financial markets, we are actually learning these things. Why we are learning in the first place? In the first lecture also, I have told you. So financial markets are very much important for us. So when we are working in banks, so you are basically part and parcel of the financial market. So when you're working in the financial markets, when you're working in the financial institution, of course, you should have understanding of financial products. especially the banking products. Now, these products, apart from the deposit products, so we have learned many, and those products are actually alternative investment opportunities for you all to invest your money, except investing in FDs. So we have done this, and I have told you, and we have learned in the class how do you make the investment rather than invest in learning from the class. But I requested you to do some flavors in investing in these alternative opportunities. Then you get more idea. When you're working in a financial market, so you should have a kind of practical knowledge as well. Only few amounts of investment you make, you can gain a lot. Now, under money market instrument, we have learned treasury bill and commercial papers, repo, remember. And under capital market instrument, we have learned treasury bonds, shares, debentures, and all. Now, debentures are very much important. And to get generally banks are getting finance. There are two methods mainly, apart from the capital. One thing is depositors' money, the other one is borrowing. So borrowing is very important for any banks or any financial institution. If you don't have enough money from the depositors, so how the banks or the financial institution takes money or obtain money from the public, the popular instrument is debenture. We have learned a lot. So debenture and the treasury bonds are very much similar. Only the issue is different, right? Only the issue is different. So treasury bond actually issued by the central bank on behalf of the government. But the debentures, your bank can issue, your financial institution can issue to get finance, right? So underwriting also we have learned that word, or subscription and all those things, which is relevant to your syllabus, which is relevant to your diploma course. We have learned those things. And for exchange market, we have to complete that part. And also types of investment instrument in debt market. We have mostly talked about debenture. I'm just reading through your syllabus, what we have done so far. And role of the stock exchange in the debt market. Now, you know that's our CSE, Colombo Stock Exchange, is only to trade shares. But there is a separate, it is not a flow, but listed debentures also can be traded in CSE. So we call it DEX, DEX, DEX. DEX is the place where you trade your debentures, public listed debentures. But there is no popular or what do you call this particular operational market for debentures to trade. But shares, of course, we have day-to-day activities are happening, but debt market is not that good in Sri Lanka, or not like other markets. Now, for example, now when the government is issuing a sovereign bond, those instruments are traded in Colombo, Singapore Stock Exchange. Those are not traded in Sri Lanka, right? CSE, those instruments are not traded in Sri Lanka, but Sri Lankan rupee denominated instruments, shares plus debentures, are trading in CSE. And CSE recently introduced multi-currency board. That is, for your knowledge, I'm telling you, foreign companies can be listed in CSE. You should have $10 million for you to list, the minimum capital requirement, then you can do the listing here. Now, the other one is that is a role of the model, and the credit rating also we have discussed. Now, you know credit rating. Credit rating is why third party is giving an assurance to the institution how their capability of settlement of debt. Now, you know, recently all the three agencies, Moody, Fitch, and S&P, downgraded Sri Lanka. Actually, Moody was not downgraded, but they are They are the people who came first on this pandemic situation, and they said they are on the view that after 3 months there is a possibility to downgrade. But Fitch came and downgraded Sri Lanka to B minus, and also they have downgraded the outlook as well negative, right? And S&P also downgraded Sri Lanka, and they are keeping the outlook as stable. Cannot downgrade the outlook. But what is the impact of credit rating for a country? Now, because now this, this situation, this corona situation is common to entire globe. So why we were downgraded? That is not confined to our country. India is also recently downgraded. So basically, now this downgraded, actually we expected from last year onwards, latter part of the last year. Now, when this government came into the power, there were a lot of tax concession given. And we expected generally we will lose 500 to 600 billion revenue to the government. And there we discussed what will be the GDP balance of payment or the trade deficit or the budget deficit. And what you call this deficit of the, how much will be the deficit, entire deficit. So basically we are maintaining 4 to 5% deficit. But due to this tax concession, we expect it will go up to 6 to 7. Now, we never expected latter part of the last year this kind of situation, this corona situation. Now, this corona situation came at the bad time, and this has worsened. Now we are expecting deficit to go up to 9%, even 8 to 9%. So this is going to be a risky situation as a country. So, and also the revenue loss from other sectors. Now, tourism revenue, we won't be getting any tourism revenue. Right, at the moment we don't have anything. Now, last year we earned 6.7. Tourism revenue 3.7. So generally we have been taking $4 billion tourism, but due to this last year incident, it has come down a little, and also worker remittances. Also, generally we have $7 billion annually. And last year it has come down to 6.7, right? And the FDIs also came down 1.9. Now, all these actually factors happen after the Easter Sunday attack. So we are little behind from compared to 2018, but we are okay somewhat. We had 2.3% economic growth, GDP growth, but this year even worse. Now, we don't have tourism income now, and we also have we had little worker remittances. Only thing, worker remittances actually, as we expected, there is a slowdown. There is a reduction in worker remittances to Sri Lanka. That's true. But the only thing now, when the expatriates, the people who are working abroad, start to come into Sri Lanka, so there is a problem. There is a doubt whether they can go back to their employment again. So there is a problem. So this worker remittance reduction will be worsened in coming months. So if they go back to their employment, that's fine. But the people who are coming to Sri Lanka, I don't think they can go back to again their employment, right? It's very difficult. People who are remain in foreign countries can survive there. People who came to Sri Lanka, it's very difficult to go back foreign employment again, because those countries also badly affected this corona pandemic. So they have to be there. They have to be fully stable for us to go back, for our Sri Lankan to go back, then work there. So it takes time. So worker remittances reduction will further aggravated in coming months towards the end of the period. Now reduction is happening. Initially we had 50% reduction. Now generally worker remittances we can see 30 to 35 reduction. But still worker remittances are coming to Sri Lanka. That's true. People are sending money still to Sri Lanka, right? Even this pandemic situation has worsened in foreign countries. And FDIs also has not come. And there will be additional pressure on the exchange, right? Additional pressure. Now, now once the recent past, last year or before, this exchange rate has moved to 198, right? US dollar rate. Rupee has depreciated 6% for the 3 months time period. So now it has come down to 186 level. So that is good. Why? We have actually curtailed unnecessary importation. Imports have cut down. Due to imports cut down, so we actually retain this exchange at a somewhat comfortable level. But if you lift this, if you move out this, if you lift this, withdraw this import, I think there is additional pressure on the exchange as well towards the end of this year. So because inflows are not coming to Sri Lanka. Right? Tourism has not started, worker remittances, apparel. So we don't see any dollar inflow. So only mechanism is as a country to take to reduce the curtail the outflow. So that's what we are doing it now. Outflow is basically you reduce the imports. But for how many periods? So how long do we have to maintain this import curtail? You can't sustain this. There are some additional or the importation has to be done. So then once you lift this import curtail, import restriction, I think there will be additional pressure. You have more demand than the supply. So then obviously the exchange rate will move, or the depreciation can happen somewhat. And now the downgraded, why this credit rating was bad for Sri Lanka is now there is a sovereign bond to be settled on the 4th of October this year. 1 billion sovereign bond to be settled. Now, rating agencies, their task is to give reality to the investors. Now, for example, now people who are abroad or the foreigners, they don't have much aware of what's happening in Sri Lanka. Inside thing. So we know what's happening, how much revenue we have lost, they also know, but then and there we know, we have information, but foreigners are not like that. So actually they are believing credit agency's decision. So when the country is downgraded, any country is downgraded because of this situation, they think that our investments are not safer. So you must have seen when the share market opened, after this closure, share market opened, within 2 days, foreign investments, foreigners have pulled out their investment in a big way. In a big way, they have pulled out their investment. So this situation common to everybody. Foreigners have been pulling out their investment through government securities as well. This has been there, but due to this situation, they have aggravated, they have intensified pulling out their investment. So then when you pull out your investment, when you withdraw your investment where you have invested in Sri Lanka, when you have money in your hand, where did you invest? So this is common to everybody. This is common to all countries in the world. So then everybody is coming under threat of this corona. All the economies have come to an standstill. So then where do you invest? Why people are pulling out their investments? And where do they go? Actually, they are going to where? US. US is generally investors think US is safer for their investments. Even they pay lower. Now US investments, now treasury bill, US government, 30-year bond, they pay 1.4% only. 1.4, 30-year bond. But we pay how much? Why then people are not coming to Sri Lanka? Because of this. So when the country is downgraded, it has a negative impact like nothing. It's very difficult to recover from that. So everything has very much costly. Now, why the government has not issued this sovereign bond? They have not reissued it. One thing is not good for the environment to issue any sovereign bond foreign. That is true, one thing. So foreigners are also in this trouble situation, then government think that nobody will invest in this particular situation. And also the pricing. Now the secondary market pricing, for your information, now there are 15 bonds are actually trading, government has issued already, sovereign bonds. There are 15 bonds are trading in the Singapore Stock Exchange. their ratings, their yields has gone up to 34%, 17%. Lowest yield is 17%. If you have money, you can buy secondary market Sri Lanka sovereign bonds at 17% dollars. Can you imagine that? So people tend to kiya hari dila අයින් වෙන්න තමයි බලන්නේ මේ Sri Lankan sovereign bonds. Why? Because they are not believing this situation. Now, we know that as a government, Sri Lanka, we have never defaulted anything. So we will be paying, we will be settling this transaction as it is, no doubt about that. But we should able to create an environment in the foreign countries or in the perception in the foreigners that your investments are safe. Your investments are safe. So this is very important. Your investments are safe. And also credit rating. So that's a very, when you have a credit rating or the rating downgrade for a country, it is very much costly. So very, very important or not to. So it's very difficult to come out of this situation. Very difficult to come out of this situation. So rating agencies, we have discussed credit rating, and also equity market. We have discussed some stocks and how do you invest in stocks. So first you have to meet one of the brokers, and there are 14 to 15 brokers. You have to open a CDS account there. Your account name is, your account number is your ID number. Then only you can invest in shares. You can invest in debentures, listed debentures. Otherwise you can't have this investment to be made. And primary market, secondary market also we have discussed. Primary market, for example, shares, it is IPO. So if it is an IPO, that is primary market. Primary market is IPO. Now, when a new company is issuing shares, if you're buying new company shares, that is IPO. You're buying from the IPO. That is we call the primary market. So then once these shares are listed in the Colombo Stock Exchange, that is secondary market. You can buy, you can purchase, you can invest in shares from the secondary market, where you can invest in a CSE, Colombo Stock Exchange. And we have discussed, we have learned what are the methods of being listed, right? Prospectus issue, remember that, for sale. Those things also we have done in the class. And different types of equity also we have discussed. That is generally we have two types of equity. That is shares. Two types of shares. That is ordinary shares and preference shares. And ordinary shares also we have subcategories. That is participating shares, mainly non-voting, voting. Then you have participating shares, cumulative shares, non-cumulative shares, like that. Right. The difference between ordinary shares and preference shares is preference shares more like borrowing, more like liability. But if you are holding ordinary shares, where you, when you invest in Colombo Stock Exchange, you will be purchasing ordinary shares. It can be non-voting or voting, but you will be purchasing voting shares, ordinary shares. So then when you holding ordinary shares, you become a real owner of this company, real owner. Only thing, the problem, the only matter is whether it is voting, non-voting. At the AGM, you can vote whatever the proposal, or you cannot vote. So those are the two difference when you are investing in non-voting and voting shares. But both are ordinary shares. So when you are holding ordinary shares, irrespective of trade, voting, non-voting, you become a real owner of this particular company. Even you are holding a one share, you are owner, right? You can be participate at this AGM. So you become owner irrespective of the percentage. And then we have discussed a different type, that is buying and selling of shares. That you have to speak to one of these brokers for you to buy from the secondary market, from the stock exchange, open a CDS account, and you can purchase the shares. Then you get the service of this share broker. They are sending reports every day So there are three types of decision you have to take. Either you have to shares, you have to sell, you have to buy, or you have to hold. Selling, purchasing, holding. Those are the three decisions you as an investor or a prospective investor has to take. Right? So how do you decide whether you should hold these shares? You get every day or a regular time interval, you get reports from these brokers analyzing the different companies which are listed in stock exchange. You get reports. So you can go through this report and you think that this particular investment should I hold, you can hold it. Otherwise you can sell. And also the below mentioning the investment brokers are advising you to hold based on the information you can hold, sell and purchase. That also can be happen, right? Those are the investment advisors. So basically you do this. And also we discussed treasury bill, treasury bond. That is also money market instrument and capital market instrument. So money market instrument, treasury bill, every week you have auction. There is no much secondary market, but there is a secondary market, but there is no trading happening like shares. Right? Treasury bill, treasury bond, there is no trading happening. You can't see price movements are happening. Treasury bill, treasury bond. Shares, of course, yes. If you want to purchase treasury bill, treasury bond from the secondary market, what do you mean by secondary market? Treasury bill, treasury bond. Now say who can be participate at the treasury bill, treasury bond auction? Only the primary dealers. Primary dealers are allowed. Primary dealers are given the license to participate at the treasury bill, treasury bond auctions. They are the only people. We have 11 primary dealers. Now recently, one bank has withdrawn their license. Right? One bank has withdrawn their license. That is Union Bank. So Union Bank has withdrawn their license, primary dealer license. Primary dealer license. So they are no more. There are no more primary dealer now. Now we have 11 people. So who can be participate at this auction is primary dealer. Now primary market is basically primary dealers and the central bank. Now that is primary market. So basically there are three types of treasury bill: 3 months, 1 year, and 3 months, 6 months, and 1 year. And we have learned this in the classroom. There is a minimum amount for you to invest. 3 months, minimum 10%. So all the primary dealers, we have 11. So everybody, all the primary dealers, each and everybody has to put minimum 10%. 3 months, 6 months, minimum 10%. 1 year, minimum 10% you have to put. Minimum. So that's why you have been given the license. So you and I can't participate at the primary auction. Who can be participate? Only the primary dealers. But we have learned there is an exemption for us also can be participate. How? If you have more than 5 million rupees, you can tell one of these primary dealers, okay, I have 5 million rupees, you invest, you put my bids to this auction at this rate. You put this auction at my rate. You can tell that. That is, you are actually involving in primary market. So the primary market. So basically, primary dealer and the central bank or the central bank. That is primary market. Every week you have auction, not like treasury bond. Treasury bond, of course, depending on the requirement, only government taking a treasury bond auction. Treasury bill every week you have. Now the importance also we have learned. Remember that when the treasury bill rates are out, when the treasury bill rates are announced every week, so it gives what? It gives basically risk-free rate. So the importance of the risk-free rate is very much important to your bank's products as well. So treasury bill rates are directly impact your deposit rate products. Treasury bill rates are direct impact. There is a direct impact to your lending rates as well, right? So when the treasury bill rates are coming down regularly, when the treasury bill rates are every week coming down, so it means that countries' interest rates are tendency is to come down, right? So that is the one of the methods the government can control the interest rate of a country. What are the other methods we have learned? That is one thing is policy rates. Now government has 4 times reduced the policy rate this year. Now we have this 6 month, and they have reduced 6 month 4 times policy rates. Policy rates means SDF and SLF. Now all these things are not new to you, right? We have learned everything in the class. And you have Tarun, I'm just refreshing you, since you stayed at more than 2 months at home, right? You must have completely forgot these things. Just reminding you. So then once you get the refreshment, refresh your knowledge, you can go through the notes and see. So every week you have that is risk-free rate. Remember that we have learned treasury bills are risk-free. Why? When you invest in the government, you think that you don't have any risk. Truly, government is tend to pay as well on the maturity date, right? There is no risk in investing. Which risk is not there? That is also we have learned. That is a default risk is not there. Credit risk is not there. But remember, we have learned that other risks are anyway it's there. Now inflation risk, reinvestment risk, liquidity risk, those risks are there anyway. Which risk is not there? Only the credit risk. Why government is not defaulting? That's the presumption we have, right? Not like any other governments, right? We don't. The governments are not defaulting. So basically, that is primary market, within whom primary dealers and the central bank. That is with regard to the government securities. But if it is a shares, IPO, general public, and the company. IPO means what? Initial public offering. You are inviting general public to invest in my shares. So it's a new company, you are issuing shares, and you are publicly inviting others to come. Say, unfortunately, I couldn't invest this IPO, but this shares is going to be listed in the CSE. So then you can buy from there. What is that market? Secondary market. This market is company and the general public, that is primary market, right? Different issuers and different institutions with regard to different instruments, right? Then the secondary market also, you can't see the price movement, but you can speak to one of the brokers, that is money brokers, not share brokers. Government securities are dealing with the money brokers. Shares are dealing with the stock brokers. Now see the difference. And also the 2 types of regulation. Now share markets are regulated by whom? SEC. And money markets, government security markets are regulated by whom? Central bank. So 2 regulators, 2 instruments, 2 issuers, 2 different markets, but same primary and secondary market definition. Right? Understand? So every week you have treasury bill. What is the importance of having treasury bill? It's a risk-free rate. You are giving a signal to the government. You are signal to the public. Interest rate like policy rates. Now policy rates also I want to discuss with you. Policy rate is SDF and SLF. 4 times they have reduced 1.5%. So what is the now the SDF is 5.5%, SLF is 6.5%, and we have understanding of what is anything excess for the banking sector. Now your bank has excess money end of the day by 3:30, by 3:15. So you don't have any option to do this. Otherwise you have to keep it idly. So rather than keep it idle, you have option given by the central bank. Okay, give me money. I will pay you 5.5% overnight. So that is SDF rate, standard deposit facility. And if you are short of money, central bank also given the opportunity for you to borrow from the central bank. But we learned, remember that we learned a condition that for you to borrow from the central bank, you should have what? Government securities. So for you to go to the central bank window, we call it central bank window, borrowing from the central bank as a last resort. If you want to go to the central bank window, you should have what? Government securities in your portfolio. Otherwise, you can't. Otherwise you can't. So then you have to go to the central bank and ask at the bank rate. Remember, bank rate recently they have reduced. It was at 15%. Now they have reduced 9%. Now bank rate is the rate any bank can go and borrow from the central bank without keeping any security. But generally banks are not going to borrow at bank rate. So meaning if you are going to borrow at bank rate, meaning you are virtually bankrupt. So none of the banks are going to borrow at bank rate. So generally you go to reverse repo, the repo window or the SLF window from to the central bank to borrow whatever the daily requirement for you, right? So to understand the importance of this kind of rates for a country. So all the economic fundamentals, since we are working in the banks or working in the financial sectors, so we should have a kind of understanding why we are learning these things and what is the importance of having. Now generally now in the class also I discussed, so when somebody comes and asks you what will happen in the future interest rate, you should be able to understand, you should be able to tell the answer. So right, I'm coming you and I'm a layman, I don't know, I don't know, I have money but I'm coming to your bank and asking, sir, make a only 3 months the 1 year. I have several times repeated this question. So you should be have a sense of should have a kind of sense future interest rate, what will happen in the future interest rate. There is no rocket science, right? Now we know how to decide what will happen in the future interest rate. So you know that in Sri Lanka, based on the present situation, now government wants to encourage or increase the credit growth. For you to have the credit growth, obviously interest rate should come down. So the lending rates to come down, obviously deposit rate has also to come down. So the Israeli in coming days, in the coming months, we are expecting interest rate to come down further. So generally then you can decide whether you will be blocking your money short term or long term. And you have a repricing effect, reinvestment risk. So when you go short term, what happens? After 3 months time, again another revision comes. So then when the interest rates have come down, you will be reinvesting at a lower interest rate. But don't forget, now we are actually in the lowest regime of interest rate scenario. Presently, we are at the lowest interest rate scenario at the moment in Sri Lanka. So we had a higher interest rate scenario some time ago, but we had the long term. Then there is you have to take a decision. That is your call whether I will be looking for longer term at the lowest interest rate regime, or should I allow repricing to happen even I'm getting a loss. So that is your call. So that is up to you to decide. But you should be able to give a sense of future to the people who coming and ask you what will happen in the interest rate in coming months. So that is, as a banker, you should do this, right? And also exchange rate also you should have kind of sense. Now when as I told you, when the imports are lifted in coming months, there is additional pressure on the exchange because we don't have much inflows to the country. So that is also we have to keep in mind when you are dealing with the exchange. So these fundamental, these things are very much important. We as a bank, and you as a general public, and we as a human being. So all these impacted. Now treasury bill rates are direct impact to our life, day-to-day life. Why? When the interest rates have come down, our deposits are getting low interest rate. Think from the general public, general perception, general the way think general citizen think. So I'm getting low interest rates. So I don't want to do. I don't want to happen that. But think from the borrower side. So I can borrow money at a lower rate. It's good for me. So you should have a balance between these two, depositor, and you should protect the depositor, you should protect the borrower as well. And exchange also the similar. When the rupee is depreciated, it is good for whom? Exporters. It's good for the exporters. You get more dollars. You get more rupees. But when the exchange is depreciated, it is not good for country like us. Why? We are more oriented, more import oriented country. So then the cost of goods will increase. Then when the cost of goods increase, it will finally reach to where? Inflation. So that is also not good. Now inflation is coming down.
Excuse me, sir.
Inflation,
One question.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Do you think for this interest rate appreciation, rupee appreciation, only the curtailment of import help?
Sorry?
I mean, from 198, rupee has appreciated to 189 now.
Yeah.
So, do you think only the curtailment of the import helped that?
Yeah. Yes. Of course, because why this now, it has reached to 198. So why we didn't have much control on the imports. But after this pandemic happened and it has been there in Sri Lanka, foreign investments are pulling out their investments. That is true. So it has intensified due to this situation. But fortunately, we had a lower price of crude oil. But even we had a lower price of the crude oil, since the economy is shut down, people movements were not happening. So people are not using vehicle. So obviously CP Ceylon Petroleum Corporation demand has come down drastically. Whereas the international market, the Brent and crude oil has come down, and WTI, that is American crude oil has went up to minus level. So, but we couldn't actually utilize this price reduction very much. Why? We don't have storage facility. We don't have a storage facility. Otherwise, we would have done this. We should have brought at a lower level and fill it here, but we couldn't do that. So one thing is import, the crude oil import has come down. And even if we don't curtail, if we don't restrict this kind of imports, this exchange has definitely surpassed by 200. So that's why I told you, now once we lift this present import restriction, there is a high chance of depreciating rupee further. Why this level exchange rate is stabilized? Because of restriction. So otherwise we don't have dollar inflow. Tourism volume we don't have. Worker remittances we are getting, but there is a reduced amount. FDI is nothing. Governments nothing. So when you don't have inflows, but here if you have outflows, obviously there is a tendency to go up. But what happened? Outflow has brought down. Why? You have a restriction. So when the dollar inflows won't immediately happen when the things came into normal, but outflows can happen. Why? Outflows can happen. If you don't have any restriction to import goods or anything, you tend to import. So it happens. And at the moment, government securities market foreign investments percentage is 0.3. 0.3% only foreigners are holding our government securities now. And share markets virtually nothing. There are some foreign investment, but very, very lower level. So there is additional pressure on the exchange in coming months when the imports are lifted. Okay. Any question you have? Anybody has any question? So then we have again discussed the right issue. Right issue, basically remember that right issue is for whom? The existing shareholders at a lower price below the market. So that is the right issue. So you are encouraging existing shareholders to invest in shares. So why we have that option? So basically you don't want to dilute your ownership. You don't want to dilute your ownership. When the new investors coming into and buying shares, meaning that you have to sacrifice your holding. So obviously we have learned in the class that we have learned in the class, there is a dilution of ownership when the new investor, when the new shareholder comes into the comes and purchase your own shares. So that's why companies are very much like existing shareholders to participate at the auction, participate at the new share issue. Right issue is a new share issue, but for who? Existing shareholders, right? So the company gets money. Company gets money. Company gets money only from the existing shareholder. If you don't use this option, there are 4 options. Remember that we have learned 4 options you can do when you have a right issue entitlement, right? So if you want to do this, if you want to maintain the same percentage, then you have to invest whatever the entitlement fully to the company, right? The equity financing, we have done this. So basically, debenture pricing also is very important, and how much you want to raise and what is the purpose of raising money. And I have showed it to you once. HNB debenture prospectus. So prospectus is what? All the information regarding the company or a bank should be included in the prospectus. It is basically given the document to the investor to take decision, like credit rating do. Credit rating actually doing the same thing like prospector do, because we don't know what will happen in your banks inside. So I am the independent investor. You should disclose everything in the prospectus for me to take a decision. What is the decision? Should I invest in this particular bank in debenture, or should I not invest in this particular bank debenture? Like same thing rating agencies also doing. So giving the outside world, outsiders to take a decision whether you will be investing in as a country in Sri Lanka, or you should pull out your investment from Sri Lanka, because Sri Lanka is taking a risk in coming days, right? And any question you have? I think you can speak, right? So you can speak. Any question you have? No
Sir,
questions.
hello.
Yeah.
So in this credit rating, what do you mean by outlook?
So basically, outlook is now credit rating, and the outlook there are 2 things. Now outlook there are 2 types, that is stable and negative. So generally now there are 3 agencies, S&P, Moody and Fitch. There are 3 categories. There are 3 rating categories. Now we are presently in a highly speculative trading. So now we actually downgraded from B to B minus. So before you come to B minus, B minus has outlook 2 types, that is stable and negative. Stable outlook and negative outlook. So each and every rating has a 2 types of outlook. So then if the country is downgraded from B to B minus, for example, there is a method of downgrading outlook as well. So you think country is downgraded because of this situation, but still we think outlook is stable. So outlook is stable means you have a perception, you are giving the outside investors make a south to Idamai country acquisition, but there is a kind of leverage, there is a kind of leave. You can also come out this situation. You have given a betterment for the country outlook, not downgraded the outlook, but Fitch has downgraded the outlook as well. So once you have downgraded the rating and the outlook, that is disaster. So you don't have any hope. You think other foreign investors, Sri Lanka is downgraded, rating and the outlook. So we have no any positive perception on Sri Lanka in settling the foreign debt. So when you downgrade the outlook and plus the rating, that is disaster. That is worse. Now S&P, fortunately, with the S&P actually, we have a very good relationship with Fitch. Our financial institution in Sri Lanka also rated by Fitch only. We don't have Moody's now. Bank of Ceylon has Moody's, but there are some commercial bank also and has Moody's, HNB and HNB and Sampath has Moody's plus Fitch. But generally, we don't have S&P S&P credit ratings. Any banks, I don't think any financial institution has S&P credit rating. But they have not downgraded the outlook. Outlook does not downgrade. Outlook is not downgraded means still they are giving the foreign investors a hope. That's true. That is to be. We have never defaulted. Even now, this country is downgraded to B minus. Do you think that we will default? We never do that. I'm 100% sure government will never default any foreign debt. They will settle on time. But we have been downgraded. We have been downgraded, but now you can see that 4th of October is the next 1 billion settlement. Government will 100% sure they will settle on time with the interest. But still we are downgraded. So what is the purpose of having rating? Even we make the payments, but their outlook is quite important. Outlook means ඉස්සරහදී මේ ප්‍රශ්නේ මේ වගේ ඉස්සරහදී එනකොට now when you have now 2021 also we have another bond to be settled. So every bonds when you are reaching to pay every bond you can't have downgraded, you can't have it. So then how do you tackle that one? By downgrading the outlook. ඉස්සරහදීත් මෙච්චර ගාණක් ගෙවන්න දෙනවා 50% in අපේ foreign debt. So then we are not sure about government will pay on time. So ඉස්සරහදීත් sure na. Outlook is also downgraded, right? But we are never defaulted. But S&P has done the right thing. They are not downgraded the outlook, right? Those are the things, right? Any question you have like that? Anybody who thinks that rupee will appreciate by end of this year? You can have, right? It is only a presumption. If I say rupee to depreciate, that is my view. You can ask, how do you say so? I have explained to you, based on today's information, there is a possibility, there is a probability there is a probability to depreciate, but it can go either way. It can come, it can further appreciate. Who says? Who knows? We don't know. But some student might have different opinion. You don't want to accept my opinion, but we never expected it will come to 185 level. It will reach to 190 was our target. It will come down further at 190 level. Even you have this cartel of imports, but it has come down to 185 level. It has drastically come down, and also it has much impacted this oil importation as well. But unfortunately now oil has gone up. Oil has gone up. Now it has reached to 41 now. Right? It was at 20 to 19 level. Now it has gone up to 41%. So we couldn't materialize that price reduction for the CPC since we don't have a storage capacity. So we are actually spending the maximum, the highest amount of money to import oil. Right? Any question you have? Now this exchange, foreign exchange market, that is one of the other markets we have to learn. Foreign exchange market is a huge market, foreign exchange market, right? Every day, each and every time this is active. Now this foreign exchange market, it start when the Japan is opening their economy. In the day opening of Japan තමයි ඉස්සලාම එන්නේ. Then you will be finishing off when the US is shut their operation. So basically, so when we go out, when we leave our offices, US is starting. So basically anything can happen when we out of the office. ඒක තමයි එන්නේ අර දැන් අපි ගෙදර ඉන්නකොට පහුවෙන් ඇවිල්ලා බලනකොට completely different exchange rate එකක් තමයි ඔයා දකින්නේ. So it's a global impact. Right? We can't be survival on our own. We can't. So basically, everything is interconnected. Everything is interconnected. So it's very, very difficult to survive on our own. You can't do that. So we actually get connected internationally. How? Through FDIs, through international trade, right? Those are the things we get interconnected with other countries. So we can't be isolated. So this situation, this pandemic situation, also now as a country internally we have controlled it. But people who are working abroad, when they start to come into Sri Lanka only, we have increased the number of infected corona cases. So then you can't have this. We are interconnected. We are actually earning money from them. So 4 billion or 7 billion annually. It's a huge amount of money from the worker remittances, right? So සාමාන්‍ය අවුරුද්දට 200 ලක්ෂ දෙයක් විතර රට යනවා. අවුරුද්දට annually. Now it has come to a standstill now, right? It's very difficult to have this situation to bring this situation normalcy. It takes time. So you will have a lesser number of remitters as well. Now, when you have additional pressure on the exchange, obviously there is a tendency to depreciate. So sometimes depreciation is good, sometimes depreciation is bad, right? Now, when you talk about this foreign exchange market, so all these markets are interrelated. All these countries are interrelated, and something happen in one country is highly impacted to exchange. Highly impacted to exchange. Now, for example, now if you say now if something goes wrong with the US, so their currency is badly affected. දැන් අපි දන්නවා US වල ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා, right? US වල යන riots නිසා US වල තියෙන currency එක weak වෙනවා. එතකොට US වල තියෙන currency එක weak වෙනවා නම් සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ලංකාවේ දැන් US ඩොලර් LKR නම් එක රටක currency එක weak නම් අනිත් එක රටක currency එක දැන් for example එක රට now say US dollar and LKR. Now our country is doing bad. Our country is not performing well. Obviously, our country's currency is getting weak, and you have to pay more. Why? Your country's currency is weak. If you are weak, you pay more. එතකොට අනිත් country currency එක හොඳ වෙනවා. එහෙමනේ එකක් නරක නම් අනිත් එක හොඳයිනේ. currency pair එකනේ. එතකොට US හොඳ නැත්තම් මේ වෙලාවේ their currency is getting weaker now. Our currency should good. ඇත්තට අපේ currency එක දැන් හොඳයි. ඇත්තට because of that ඒකින්ද අපේ currency හොඳ උනේ? No. ඒකින්ද නෙමෙයි. ඒකින්ද නෙමෙයි අපේ currency හොඳ උනේ. අපේ currency හොඳ උනේ as I told you, somebody was asking this question, import curtail කරපු නිසා. නිකමට හරි import restriction එක අයින් කළා නම් US currency එක හොඳ වුණා කියලා අපේ currency නරක වුණා කියලා අපේ currency හොඳ වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Right? We are import oriented country, we have more demand. Anything හොඳ වෙන්න බෑ. US නරක නම් අපි හොඳ වෙන්න බෑ. Then our currency should be appreciated, but it won't happen. We had a similar situation before as well, right? Now in 2018 we had a 13% depreciation. We had a 13% depreciation. Why? So our economy was not good. Political stability was not there. Foreign investors' confidence is not there. Other countries වලත් ඒ වෙලාවේ US වලත් සමහර වෙලාවට තිබුණේ නැහැ. US China ප්‍රශ්න තිබ්බා. Their currency also getting weaker, but it has more impact than our one. So basically our depreciation, rupee depreciation is basically purely is happening because of the internal thing in Sri Lanka. True that our country's economy, our country's situations, what do you call these events or happenings in other countries also directly impact to the exchange. But country like Sri Lanka it has its own problems. has own problems. So because when you have lower inflows, when you have more outflows, obviously you don't have to worry about other factors, but you have to worry about your internal factors. That's why we have rupee has depreciated drastically in last years as well. 2018 we had a 13% depreciation. Last year 2019, of course, we had appreciation. Even we have this. We had this Easter Sunday attack. But they are, of course, actually our import has again curtailed. Remember that importation of vehicle has curtailed and gold importation has curtailed. Without restricting the import, we can't survive this. We can't have this stable exchange in Sri Lanka. You can't. Why 2018 we had stable appreciation? Because of we have restricted gold importation, we have restricted the vehicle importation. Because of that only. So otherwise, you don't have this. Now, once you remove this present restriction, also there is a tendency to depreciate. Right? Now, it's a global market. Everything is open. Now you know in globe, Fridays Middle East countries are not working. Middle East countries, but they are working Sundays. They're working Sundays, but there is a slight impact on the Middle East currencies because they are working on Sundays. They're working on Sundays. There is a slight impact, but there is no much impact to the other currencies. Even they work on Sundays, right? But this market is a huge market. Trillions of transactions are going, so all over the world. So it is active market, very much live. So why do we need the foreign currency, foreign exchange rate? Why do we need it? So we might need it foreign exchange because we are engaged in international trade. We are engaged in international trade. So then we can't use our rupees. So basically, you are doing imports, you are doing exports, and you are doing FDI. So then you need the international currency for you to deal with. So for you to deal with international currency, then you need to have exchange rate. Otherwise, now you can't use LKR for all the transactions. So now these are the things. Now continuous operation 24-hour day except weekends, right? But Middle East countries are working on weekdays, Sundays, right? And market size, see the market size is a huge one, right? And in the foreign exchange market now in Sri Lanka also now there are two types of terms we have to learn. That is, one thing is the depreciation, the other one is devaluation. Now depreciation is happening based on the demand and supply. Depreciation is happening based on the demand and supply. So depreciation means it is normal thing based on the market forces. But devaluation is you purposely do it. You purposely do it. Today you decided to devalue your currency by 3%. It has happened once in the budget. I can't remember exact year when at the budget it has announced by the finance minister, rupee has been devalued by 3%. So then you purposely do it to protect whom? Exporters. But it has a bad effect for importers. Country like us, why we are more oriented in import. And also now you can see the currency pairs. Now different currency pairs. US dollar, LKR, US dollar, JPY, like that. Now in the world, there are 4 currencies which started from your left hand side other than the US dollar. Other than the US dollar. Now these are the 4 currencies available on your notes. Australian dollars, New Zealand dollars, Euro and GBP. Those are the 4 currencies start with their own country's currency. Got it? Their own country's currency. AUD ගත්තහම AUD එකකට dollars. Euro ගත්තහම euro එකකට dollars. Euro USD. GBP ගත්තහම GBP USD. GBP එකකට dollars කීයද? සහ New Zealand dollars ගත්තහම New Zealand dollars එකට US dollar කීයද? These are the only 4 currencies. These are the only currencies in the world start from their own country's reporting currency. Other than these 4 currencies, all other currency pair start with US dollar. හැම currency දැන් ලංකාව ගත්තොත් USD එකට LKR. අපේ reporting currency එක දකුණු පැත්තේ. US dollar එකට JPY. US dollar එකට HKD Hong Kong dollar. US dollar එකට CHF. US dollar එකට Scandinavian. US dollar එකට INR Indian rupee. US dollar එකට CNY. So all other currencies except these 4 currencies, Euro, GBP, New Zealand dollars and AUD, are started with US dollar. So these 4 currencies, we call it, or these 4 currency exchange rates, we call it, it's a direct quotes, right? Sorry, indirect quotes. So basically other currencies start with US dollar. Lanka we call it direct quotes. Those are direct quotes, right? So very important to know that these are the 4 currencies in the world we have, right? Other currencies, of course, we have direct quotes and indirect quotes. Now, direct quotes and indirect quotes, those are the 2 things. Every currency pair you have direct quotes and indirect quotes, right? All the currency pair. Now when you're working in the bank, every day you get what? Every morning you get currency sheet. There you have currency buying selling rate, currency, and also you have TT buying selling rate, right? What is the difference between 2? Why currency buying rate and the TT, telegraphic transfer buying rates are different? Why you have currency buying rates are lower than the TT buying rate? Why do you think so? Now, people who are not students who are not working in the banks, TT means other than the currency. Now say you want to send money to US. You are using a TT, telegraphic transfer, SWIFT base. You tell the bank manager, I want to send $1,000 to US or $1,000 to SIMA institution. You send it. That is TT transfer, telegraphic transfer. What happened? You give rupees simultaneously, instantly, then you get money. But what happened when you're giving a check? It takes time for you to realize. So there is a risk carrying by the bank. So then you buy foreign exchange at a lower rate. That's why you pay for the currency at a lower rate. You go and check. Currency buying rates and the TT buying rates are quite different. I think it's more than 4 to 5 rupee different. Why? Checks to be realized takes time. Checks to be realized takes time. But we have in Sri Lanka now local clearing network. Sampath Bank has the account. So when you transfer your PFC account from commercial bank to HNB, you can do it today itself or the following day. You don't want to involve in Nostro account. You have a domestic clearing. Sampath Bank. Through Sampath Bank, Sampath Bank is maintaining this Nostro account, right? Local clearing, local US clearing. You can do it. Otherwise, you have to take You have to go to the, you have to use the Nostro account, and you have to invest there, and you have to wait for long time get this refund. What do you mean by Nostro? What do you mean by Nostro account? You must have heard this. Now say, now somebody wants to, now you want to make a payment to CIMA institution. You are doing CIMA. You want to make a payment to CIMA. So you have rupees with you. මම ළඟ තියෙන රුපියල්. හැබැයි මම මේ payment එක කරන්න ඕනේ GBP වලින්. අයිති CIMA තියෙන්නේ ඉංග්ලන්ඩ්. එයාට හම්බ වෙනවා GBP වලින්. So බැංකුවට එනවා. බැංකුවට ඇවිල්ලා කියනවා මට මේක යවන්න ඕනේ CIMA එකට. කිව්වම ඔයා රුපියල් දෙනවා. CIMA මොකද කරන්නේ? බැංකුව එක අරගෙන බැංකුව යවනවා. ඉස්සර නම් draft එකක් දෙනවා. දැන් draft දෙන්නේ නැහැ. දැන් draft එකක් ඕනනම් දෙනවා. නමුත් ඔයාට කෙලින්ම TT transfer එකක් විදියට ඔයාට following day එකේ එයාගේ CIMA institution එකේ account එක credit කරන්න පුළුවන්. So how does this mechanism happening? CIMA institution has a bank account in, for example, we say HSBC in London. CIMA institution එකේ account එකක් තියෙනවා. දැන් මේ ඉන්න රටවල් මේ ඉන්න companies වලට accounts තියෙන අපේ බැංකුව වල ඒ වගේ CIMA එකේ CIMA institute එකේ account එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒ රටේ ඉන්න HSBC එකත් එක්ක. So what happened? When you take money from the customer, you send this money to other bank in England. What is this other bank? So now, for example, now you go to commercial bank. I'm the commercial bank customer. Commercial bank को මගෙන් සල්ලි අරන් GBP යවන්නේ කොහෙටද? commercial bank වේ account එකක් තියෙන බැංකුවකට ඉංග්ලන්ඩ් වල. අපි කියමු commercial එකේ commercial bank වේ account එකක් තියෙනවා. commercial bank බැංකුවක් විදියට account එකක් open කරලා තියෙනවා ඉංග්ලන්ඩ් වල තියෙන Barclays බැංකුවත් එක්ක. එහෙනම් මම කොහෙටද මේ සල්ලි යවන්නේ? ඉස්සෙල්ලා මම යවනවා මගේ account එකේ තියෙන බැංකුවට. commercial bank account එකේ තියෙන කොහෙද? Barclays. So you are instructing Barclays Bank to credit HSBC. Why? In favor of CIMA institution. That's what happened. So the commercial bank account with Barclays Bank, we call it what? It's a Nostro account. You got it? Commercial bank account එක තියෙන Barclays වල. England වල බැංකුව. Barclays Bank ට I'm instructing send this money to HSBC. Why? HSBC is the bank of CIMA institution. CIMA institute එකේ account එක තියෙන HSBC. So I am instructing, because I don't have account. Commercial bank does not have account in HSBC. Example. So now I have account. Commercial bank account at Barclays. You instruct Barclays to send this money to CIMA institution or their bank, where HSBC is the bank. So the commercial bank account in Barclays, we call it Nostro. Our account with them, right? Our account with them, that is Nostro. Their account with us, that is Vostro. Important two words. Our account with them, Nostro. Their account with us, Vostro. So Vostro accounts are used by whom? Vostro accounts are used by same thing. If somebody wants to send money to Sri Lanka, they have to use our account. හිතන්න දැන් ලංකාවේ වැඩ කරන අය ඉන්න රට. They want to send money to Sri Lanka. Maastricht Bank එකේ තියෙනවා Middle East වල. Maastricht Bank එකට කියලා කියනවා ලංකාවට මට මේක සල්ලි යවන්න රුපියල් වලින් කියලා. So what does the Maastricht Bank do? They convert and they credit into your account. So Maastricht Bank should have a Vostro account. From Maastricht Bank, it's a Nostro. Why? Their account with us. So Maastricht Bank को මොකද කරන්නේ? ලංකාවේ තියෙන බැංකුවක් එක රුපියල් account එකක් open කරන්න ඕන. Think from our side. Now if the Maastricht Bank has decided to open account in HNB, from HNB side, their account with us, that is what? Vostro. The HNB එක මොකක් කරේ bank US වල බැංකුවක account එකක් open කරනවා නම් අන්න Nostro. Our account with them. Their account with us. Vostro. Our account with them, ඒ කියන්නේ අපේ account එකක් තියෙනවා නම් ඒගොල්ලෝ ළඟ පිටරට බැංකුවක් එක්ක, that is nostro n. පිටරට බැංකුවක account එකක් තියෙනවා අපි ළඟ, we call it vostro. All these foreign transactions happen through nostro account. දැන් මේ SDA account එකක් introduce කළානේ. දැන් අප්‍රේල් 8 ඉඳලා ඔක්තෝබර් 7 වෙනකන් ගන්න පුළුවන් සල්ලි 6 month සල්ලි පිටරටින් යවුවොත් 6 month දැම්ම minimum 6 month තියන්න ඕනේ. 1% වැඩිපුර දෙනවා. 1 year තිබ්බොත් 2% වැඩිපුර දෙනවා foreign exchange. Right? Then SDA, special deposit account. Every bank has to open. They have published their rates. Lot of rates, the higher rates are offering to the foreign exchange foreigners. So anybody can send money. දැන් මොකද්ද මේක දැන් පිටට ඉන්න හිතන්නේ? මේක තමයි ideal opportunity for us to bring black money to Sri Lanka. Then මෙහෙම එන inquiries, I don't know whether you have this kind of situation. දැන් මේක එනවා කවුරුවත් එවන්න කැමති නෑ, ලොකු එන්නේ මම 1 billion 2 billion එහෙම තමයි inquiries එන්නේ. ඒ එකක්වත් nostro accounts එක හරහා එන්නේ නෑ. දැන් අපි කියමු කොහේ හරි US වල ඉඳන්, I mean taking example only, US වල ඉඳන් සල්ලි එවන්න ඕන නම් හොඳම දේ තමයි අපි කියමු මෙහි ඉන්න දැන් මට එවන්න ඕනේ සල්ලි ටිකක්. මගේ account එකක් තියෙනවා ලංකා බැංකුවේ. US වල ඉන්නවා දැන් එවන්න එක්කෙනෙක්. ඒතර එයා මොකද කරන්නේ? ලංකා බැංකුවේ account එකක් තියෙන US බැංකුවකට ගිහිල්ලා ඕක නැත්තම් එහෙම බැංකුවකට නැත්තම් ඒ බැංකුවකට දාන්න කියලා හරි කියන්න ඕනේ. හිතමුකෝ දැන් ලංකා බැංකුවේ account එකක් තියෙනවා සිටි බැංකුවේ US වල. ඒතර මම මොකද කරන්නේ? සිටි බැංකුවට ගිහිල්ලා US වල ඉන්න කෙනෙක් සිටි බැංකුවට ගිහිල්ලා මේක ලංකා බැංකුවේ ජීවන්තක නමට යවන්න ඕනේ. ඔයාලා ලංකා බැංකුවේ account එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒකෙන් යවන්න කියලා දෙනවා. එහෙම කරන්නේ නැහැ මේ කිසි කෙනෙක්. ඇයි? They can't bring this money to the banking system. So banks are not accepting this. So you can't say දැන් මේක මොකද nostro එක avoid කරලා යවන්න බලන්න. ඒතකොට මොකද වෙන්නේ? server to server transfer එකක් කොන්න කරනවා. පුදුම දේවල්. We also learn new things because of this. දැන් මේක දන්නවා, ඔයාලා දන්නවා message එනවා. දැන් ඇත්තටම දැන් සාමාන්‍ය රටේ ඉඳන් සල්ලි එවනවා නම් හිතනවා US වල ඉඳන් genuine customer කෙනෙක් එවනවා නම් සිටි බැංකුවට ගිහිල්ලා මම සල්ලි දැම්මොත් Citibank has to send Banco Ceylon to a message, SWIFT transfer. අපි එකට කියනවා එක එක numbers තියෙනවා 202 කියලා bank to bank message. ඔන්න සිටි බැංකුව, මම සිටි බැංකුව ඔයාගේ customer කෙනෙක් ඇවිල්ලා මෙහෙම සල්ලි දුන්නා මට, මම ඔයාගේ බැංකුවට මෙදා දවසේ එවනවා. මෙයා තමයි beneficiary කියලා එහෙම කියනවා. There is a message system, because otherwise Banco Ceylon people don't know that somebody is in US has deposited in their account කියලා. ඒක දන්නේ නැහැ. මගේ account එකට deposit කරොත් එහෙම පහුවෙන්ද statement එක ගත්තාම, මගේ statement එක ගත්තාම BOC statement එක තියෙනවනේ US city එකේ, ඒ statement එකේ appear වෙනවා, but I don't know who has deposited this money. So the bank has to inform me. In favor of you only මේ money ටික වගේ account එකට දාලා තියෙන එක. Then only Banco Ceylon can credit my account. So there is a system is going on, genuine, transparent mechanism is available in Sri Lanka. හැබැයි මොකද කරන්නේ? මේක මේ හිතුව මොකද්ද? මේක මේ black money ගේන්න ඕන ක්‍රමයක් කියලා. ගන්න ඔයගේ inquiries තමයි ඉන්නේ billions, 5 billion. එකපාරක් ආවා. I have own experience 10 billion. 10 billion. So what is the total reserve we have? 7.2 billion. But these guys try to bring 10 billion to Sri Lanka. Can you imagine this? They don't have even common sense. They don't have even common sense. So they think that this period is allowed to bring black money to Sri Lanka. It won't happen, because we have recently lifted from the grey list. Why we were in the grey list? Because of this. Because of this. So we fortunately actually we were lifted. Now we don't have any any bad things, money laundering cases, we are as a country we are now not involving. So being in the grey list, it is a disaster for you all. So other banks are inquiring. You don't have much relationship with other banks. Why? You as a branded, you as a country as branded as a money laundering country. So where I have money which I can't disclose, but I am giving you, then my money will be laundered, clean. So people will think like that. So because it's a very, I know you go and ask from the SDA if you have separate SDA unit or a international division, how much difficulties they are facing to tackle these people. It's very difficult. So if it is genuine transaction, you should use the Nostro account. Why? When you go to the bank, when you go to your bank, to the cashier, will they accept whatever the things you give to him or her cashier? They won't. They will ask some question, right? Why? This is KYC. CDD rules, customer due diligence. You have to follow all these mechanisms. Otherwise, you will be in trouble. Who? The cashier will be in trouble. Okay, how do you earn this money? You should ask. So, do you think that foreign banks are not asking like that? They are. They're actually more rigid than ours. One can use the banking system to send or bring unusual or undisclosed money. It is not going to happen. So, there are genuine people. There are genuine people who wants to have a high interest rate. They are sending money. All the banks are getting money. That is genuine way. They can use the Nostro account. Following day, when the statement comes, when the bank to bank message comes, people will be the account will be credited. That is the transparent, well accepted, general normal banking practice. But the people who can't disclose their earnings, they try to use this unnecessary things. So Nostro account is very important, right? If you send money to Sri Lanka, use the Nostro. You have to go to the bank and credit the deposit. You can't directly send money to my account. That is not happening. So that's the people are trying to do this. Mage account mage account you can't do this. How can you do this without having a Nostro? Even you have this online banking, it is through coming through this Nostro account. But I recently I got to know there is a method called Uber or something, but they are using this online transaction, but they are not. They can avoid the kind of Nostro accounts. I don't know. Somebody was getting money through that. I was amazed that, but it has. I think, but it is also screening from the Sampath Bank. Sampath Bank is maintaining that account or something, but I think that screening is happening there as well. I don't know, but generally we think that you can't send money to Sri Lanka, or you can't use unusual methods to send money to Sri Lanka except deviating Nostro account, right? So that is the importance of Nostro and Vostro account. So then you have bid and ask, that is normally general jargon. So buying, selling, right? So, you know, buying, selling rates. There are two types of rates. Then US DLK there are two. Buying, selling, 185, 186. 85 is buying, 186 is selling. Now, who's buying, who's selling rate? Now, when you get the morning, the rate sheet, there you have buying, selling rate, TT buying, TT selling. Whose rate is this? It is your rate. It is your rate. It is your bank rate. Bank buys. Bank sells. Not my. So I am the customer. I have $1,000 with me. I'm coming to your bank. I'm coming to your bank. I'm asking I need rupees. I'm asking from the branch manager, I need to convert this 1000 into rupees. What is the rate you are giving to me? Then the bank එනකොටම display එකේ තියෙනවා buying, selling. Buying තියෙනවා 185, selling තියෙනවා 186. Buying තියෙනවා 185, selling තියෙනවා 186. එතකොට මෙයා හිතන මොකද selling නේ. So I am selling. I am selling. So he thinks that I can. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
So there's a small question.
Yes. Go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you. Hello.
Yeah. Yeah. So just to know about this mini loans in.
Sorry.
Hello.
Yeah,
Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sir, this is to know about this mini loans, mini loans that using this in Sri Lanka. Yeah, the mini loans that, for example, like Cashwagon, CashX. So they are owners for currently in foreign owners. So how they transfer the money to Sri Lanka? So that means
Which owners?
This Cashwagon and all.
Sorry.
So the basic investors in foreign. So foreign Russian people. This Cashwagon mini loans.
Basically, they are depositing currencies, right?
Yeah.
So thing is this now. Now when you go now see, that's why I told you now in Sri Lankan banking also now when we take currencies in our hand and you go to the cashier bank deposited in somebody else's name, do you accept? Even CDM machine, you can deposit your currencies to a third party. That can be happen, but don't think that every transaction, every deposit, even every 1000 deposit, every deposit is subject to what? Subject to CDD, KYC. So your compliance division is checking every transaction, even you physically don't go to the bank, even you don't go to the bank, and if you are using this CDM machine, your transaction is under scrutiny. So likewise, you can't deposit currencies into the Nostro account. You can't. That is completely prohibited. If you do the transaction by depositing currencies, completely prohibited. Foreign banks are not accepting currency depositing to Nostro account. It's prohibited, right? Did I answer your question?
That is okay.
You can't deposit
Yes, sir. Yes.
currencies to Nostro, right? And I told you now this, say now somebody is coming to your bank and with 100 rupee, 1000 rupee dollar denominated with you, and your bank says, මේක මේ charger එක ගහලා තියෙන මේ battery low කියලා එනවා පොඩ්ඩක් බලන්න. Now see, you can see this, right? Now say your bank, we say USD LKR. Now it says now, can you see this?
Yes, sir.
Now here USD LKR. Now we say there are two types. I told you 185, 186. This is buying, this is selling. I got that. This is buying and this is selling. Right? This is buying and this is selling. Now say whose rate is this? This is bank rate. So bank is buying at 185. Bank is buying and bank is selling at 186. Bank is buying and bank is selling. Now, see, I have $1,000 with me. I need to convert into rupees. So who am I? I am the seller. So what rate should the bank say? I am the seller. Which rate should offer by the bank? Is it 185 or 186? It is why 185. Why? I am the seller. But whose rate is this? This is not my rate. This is not mine. This is your rate. Bank's rate. So think always from the bank side. Bank is always correct. Think from the bank side. Bank buys at 185. I don't mind whatever that you do. You are the seller, true. It is me. This is me. I don't want what is your position. Think from the bank side. What do I do? What does the bank do? So bank is buying. Then obviously 100,000 should be into 185, not that 186. So this is a common mistake in the exams, right? This is a common mistake in the exams. A lot of students are doing it. So think always from the bank side. Think from the bank side always, right? Even when we are doing the transaction in day progress, so you should always think the bank side. Now all these rates are taken from the bank side, right? Not from the individual side, right? So then we have learned this direct and indirect, and also we have to learn cross rates. We'll be learning this, how the cross rates are coming. I have given you some notes on these two. Finally, we will be taking this one. Now these are the more. Now see gold. Now this slide. Now gold is, sorry. Now gold is, we generally in the banking jargon, in the foreign exchange transaction, we don't say gold. We say it's XAU. Platinum also there is a separate icon. Silver also there is a separate icon. Like now euro gattahama api dannawa ekata market එක. Swiss franc gattahama we call it a CHF. Like that. Sri Lankan rupees gattahama LKR. That is the everybody known currency. Yeah. If somebody says RS people don't know. If we are saying LKR, then everybody knows this is Lankan rupees. Indian rupees come INR. So then only you get to know this is your currency pair, right? Similarly, now finally look at this. These are given a two direct or two indirect quotes. This is how you do this. Now USD HKD is a direct quote. USD CHF is the direct quote. Why? USD on your left hand side. So if the USD is on your left hand side, always a direct quote. Always it's a direct quote, right? Now see the second one, GBP USD. That is an indirect quote. How do you recognize whether this is a direct quote or indirect quote? It's easy. When you are given a currency pair, when you are given an exchange rate, if the exchange pairs on your left hand side GBP now, it is, I'm sorry, USD now it is direct. That is how you keep in mind. GBP, Euro, AUD, New Zealand dollars. Those four currencies, the currency pair I start with those four currencies, that is indirect. That is indirect quote. You think like this. Now in Sri Lanka, we have direct quote by USD LKR. Our reporting currency is second one, right? So then the USD LKR is a direct currency. Now when you are given a currency pair, this is how you do this. Why? This is USD LKR, that is direct. USD CHF, that is direct. Direct. Both are direct. Both can be indirect. If it is direct, if it is indirect, both the currency pair, you should do what? Divide, cross and divide. 7.2515 should be divided by here 1.5050. This is how you get it. Why you have two currency pair? Buying and selling. So we will be discussing later how do you decide whether this is CHF or HKD, the HKD or CHF. That will be taken care of later. Don't worry about this, right? Why we want to teach this? This is important for you all, right? This is how you do this. This is every day, every banks, every court is doing like this. Every dealer is doing same thing. There is no rocket science. If you learn this thing, you can easily understand. Maybe cross and divide, you don't know what to say. Dakapu gama, you can say this should be the way. Currency pair ka dunnama, you can understand. So actually our target is to have this other financial markets, that the financial derivatives. Your next topic is financial derivatives, that is futures, option and swaps. Those three actually are financial derivatives. Now the second tute I have given to you Word document. There you can see internal hedging mechanism and external hedging mechanism. Now the next topic is ours is future option swaps are derivative, external derivative hedging. So before we come to that, I just wanted to give you this background on the exchange market, foreign exchange market. Otherwise no point of straight away come to these derivatives. Derivative is there to actually risk minimization of. Now when you order a vehicle today, but vehicle is coming after 3 months time, then you have to make the payment after 3 months time. Why do you want to book the rate today? You are not sure about the exchange after 3 months time. That is derivative. Forward exchange derivative. Forward exchange. You book a forward exchange. That is the foreign exchange derivative. To what? To avoid, not to avoid, but to mitigate or to reduce the foreign exchange risk. That's all. Now these futures in your syllabus, options and swaps are also similar. Forward exchange contracts, actually it is not coming under syllabus, determination of foreign exchange rate, but as a derivative we will not be learning that. Foreign exchange, forward exchange contract is the most popular derivative or the risk minimization or a hedging technique in foreign exchange market in Sri Lanka. Secondary options are not using. අපි හැමෝම forward exchange contract එක තමයි ජීවත් වෙන්නේ. ඇයි? අපි දන්නේ නැත්නම් අපේ මාකට් එක ගැන ෂුවර් නැත්නම් අපි අද බුක් කරනවා අවුරුදු මාස දෙකකින් මේ රේට් එක මට හම්බෙයි කියලා. So දැන් උදාහරණයක් විතර අපි ඔයාට දැන් සල්ලි වගේක් කියනවා $1 million මාස 3කින්. ඔයාට ඒක රුපියල් වලට කන්වර්ට් කරගන්න. ඔයා අද බුක් කරනවා. බැංකුව අද 185 නම් අද යන රේට් එක බැංකුව කියනවා මාස 3කින් මම ඔයාට මම දෙන්න 190 රුපියල් 5ක් වැඩි කරලා. then මාස 3ක් එනවා දැන් 100 දැන් ඔයා චෙක් දැන් ඔයාට මේ contract එක ඔයාලා කරන්න ඕනේ. You can't say no I can't do this. No, you can't. Once you come to an agreement with the bank, you have to honor this foreign exchange contract. නිකමට වගේ දැන් මම කරන්නේ කිව්ද 190ට. අයි බණ්ඩ බැංකුව මාස 3කට කලින් දුන්නේ 190. නිකමට වගේ මම මාකට් එක චෙක් කරලා බලනවා. 200යි. මට කියන්න පුළුවන්ද මට නම් මේක කරන්න බෑ මම මාස 3කට කලින් මේක බුක් කළා 190ට මේ දැන් 200නේ. You can't do that. You have to honor it. But are you gaining? Are you gaining? You're not gaining. You're losing. If I didn't enter into this foreign exchange forward contract before 3 months, I would have convert this $1 million at what rate? 200. රුපියල් 10ක් මට ලාභයි. මට මේක කරන්නම කියලා බැංකුව කියනවා. 190ට. මොකද මම ඇග්‍රී වෙච්ච හින්දා. So basically what I want to tell you is these derivative products, hedging mechanisms are not to earn profit but to avoid exchange risk. Insurance එකක් වගේ තමයි. හැප්පුණොත් තමයි ගෙවන්නේ. හැබැයි හැප්පුනේ නැත්තම් වියදම අපරාධ. Similarly ඒ වගේ. මෙතන මේක මේ profit වෙන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් නිකන් හරි හිතන්නකො 180යි. Then I am happy. Why? 180 මාකට් එකට මම දැන් කරන්නේ 190ට. Why? I have an agreement with the bank. Bank has to give me 190. ඇත්තට මාකට් එකේ මම නොකර හිටියනම් මට කරන්න 180ට. Then I am gaining by entering into forward exchange contract. So it can be either way. Only thing you have to remember is hedging techniques are not to earn profit but to avoid or to minimize the risk. Now this is how you do this. Now we have learned two direct, indirect. If you are given the exam direct course, indirect course, this is the way for you to understand. Only for the simplified version I have given to you. This is how you do this. This is how you arrive. So we will be learning time to come. Is it GBP HKD or HKD එකට මොකද දැන් මේක කියන්නේ GBP එකකට HKD මම 10.1739ක් ගෙවනවා. GBP එකකට හැමතිස්සෙම left hand side equals 1. දැන් පළවෙනි එක ගත්තොත් එimhe USD HKD rate එක ගත්තොත් USD එකකට HKD මම ගෙවනවා 7.2515. GBP එකකට මම ගෙවනවා GBP එකට dollars මම ගෙවනවා 1.4. හැමතිස්සෙම on your left hand side equals 1. Right, so we will be learning later if it is how do you decide it is HKD or GBP, right? There are few sums to be calculated, sums to be attended, then you get a thorough knowledge on foreign exchange transaction, right? Then we will move on to the other financial derivative markets, right? So I will be taking one day from you all another, so then I can finish everything with the regulations also. I have a part to finish. Only thing I will be not taking that in the class, but I'll be giving a handout. Objective of the government regulation. You don't know to. I don't know to explain here. I will given you a tut on that for you to read all the regulations related. So I'll be taking another 2 hours if they allow me to do this. So then we can finish this diploma on my part, right? Do you have any question on this? So probably the next week, maybe the last class from for me taking, right, with you all. Do you have any question on this before we wind up? Any question you have? So I can say 30. Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
So one question. When it comes to the cross currency, when USD is in the left side, it's called direct.
Yeah.
That's what you said, no?
Yeah.
And earlier you said about the four currencies: USD, NSD, Euro, and GBP. When that comes to the left side, also can be called
that is indirect. That is indirect.
That is indirect.
There are 4 indirect currencies in the world. Right? There are 4 indirect currencies in the world. That is, those are the 4 currencies. So you remember the our one is direct. USD LKR is direct. Right? You start with GBP and New Zealand dollars, AUD, Euro. Those are indirect currency codes.
Right. If we say it's like LKR CHF, then is that also can called as indirect?
No, you can't say, because why now LKR CHF is basically, it is not involving in dollar. So generally dollar or other four currencies involving only, we call it a direct or indirect. Right? Now
Okay. Right.
LKR CHF is, we don't normally say it's a currency pair. It is an internal thing. So USD LKR, yes, that is the direct or indirect currency code we call. Now, when you have this dollar, LKR dollar is the base currency for you to calculate LKR CHF. For you to calculate LKR CHF, you need what? For you to calculate LKR, can you hear this, right? You can see this.
Yes.
Yeah. You need LKR CHF. It should be other way around, right? CHF and LKR, but even LKR and CHF, what are the two currency pairs you need? You need, one is USD LKR. Other one is you need USD CHF. These two currency pairs are available in the market. Now see, these are common. So what happened? This is direct. So if it is too direct, I have given you how to arrive at the LKR or CHF or CHF LKR. You can have, by using these two methodology, to arrive either this, either this. I will be teaching you later if it is this or if it is this. For the time being, you just remember, for you to arrive this, you need these two. Understood? USD,
Yeah, got it.
USD CHF here. This is common. So ultimately, when you are doing the transaction, you will be left with LKR and CHF. Right? Two direct currencies. So I apply the methodology. That's all. Any question you have? It's a good question. Don't worry about this one. I will be teaching you. Depending on the strength of the currency, it is decided. I'll tell you. So any currency, if you are weak, you pay more. Simple theory is that anything you pay more. Now in this case, say USD LKR 180, USD CHF 0.9 generally. Meaning which currency is weak out of these two? Anything you pay more, you weak. Who pays more? LKR. Then your country is weak. Now in this pair, who pays more? Who pays more? This one. Can you hear this? You can see this, right? USD CHF 0.9. Who pays more? Which currency is out of these two? Which currency, which economy is weak? This is Switzerland. Who pays more?
USD.
USD එකකට CHF එකක්වත් ගෙවන්නේ. USD එකකට CHF එකක්වත් මම ගෙවන්නේ. එකක් ගන්න එක වෙන්නේ නැත. මේක දෙක වුණොත් මොකද වෙන්නේ? USD එකකට මම CHF දෙකක් ගෙවනවා. මම වැඩිපුර ගෙවනවා. CHF is weak. එතකොට. Now who is stronger here?
CHF. US
ඩොලර් එකකට CHF එකක්වත් මම ගෙවන්නේ. එකක් මම ගෙවන්නේ නැහැ. හිතන්න මම දැන් US එකට මේක දෙකයි. මෙතන 20 කියමු. US dollar එකකට මම CHF කියන which who pays more? CHF pays more. Then they are weak. දැන් මොකද වෙලා තියෙන්නේ? 0.9 එකක්වත් මම ගෙවන්නේ නැහැ. So I'm strong. Who? එක්කෙනෙක් strong නම් අනිත් එක්කෙනා weak. This is how you do this. This is how you decide this currency pair answer. So we'll be learning next week. Don't worry. right? This is how you do this. Any question you have? Right, then we will wind up the class. We will hopefully meeting the next week, right? Okay. Thank you.